If you think this Christmas special is about Captain Man being arrested and the power of Christmas brings people together to fight this injustice and or find the guy who framed Captain Man and their beloved superheroes, I'm going to laugh in your face because you thought of a better plot than this awful excuse for a Christmas special. We open with Captain Man and Kid Danger serving food on Christmas Eve. Henry is forced to wear a hairnet because it's illegal to serve food in Swellview without a hairnet, while Captain Man isn't because he's vain as hell. He says his hair is more important, and obviously he's not going to be caught dead in a hairnet. I mean, he's above the law. This naturally gets him arrested by the chief of police at the request of an irate woman who disappears soon after. This is where we get into the first issue. This really isn't a Christmas special. This is an LOL, this place has dumb laws episode that takes place during the Christmas time. So, all the whole Christmas Danger really isn't a good title because it's kinda non-indicative. Also, there's how Captain Man forces Henry to wear the hairnet in the first place. Where do I begin with this? If you want him to be sympathetic, here's a bright idea. I don't know. Don't bring up how he is the one breaking the law and that he knowingly and willingly breaks the law. Sure, it's a stupid law, but why are you willing to try to poke the bear? Not to mention, this is your fault. Your fault! I mean, this episode goes on about stupid laws, which would make sense if this was a standard episode about, hey, Swellview has stupid laws, but this is a Christmas special, and a bad one. I mean, the whole Christmassy aspects of it feel really tacked on. Like, this was done in, like, a script revision where they just threw in the Christmas special parts as sticky notes. Including this crappy handbells where, hey, the dad is quirky. Now let's make his quirks annoying. Anyways, Jasper, he's the main character that I was showing earlier, basically points out all these stupid laws and goes to City Hall, and he decides to go break a bunch more, such as not wearing two hats and not biting ice cream. Okay, where do I begin with this? Your superhero that the town loves, except for that one reporter and one irate lady, gets arrested because he wouldn't wear a hairnet while serving food. What makes you, Jasper Dunlop, immune to this? Yeah, he gets arrested very quickly. And of course, Henry and Charlotte know that Jasper is annoying as sin. Okay, oh dear, where do I begin with this? Just because the show knows Jasper is annoying doesn't mean you have to write him to be annoying to the audience. Because it's one thing if the other characters perceive this character as annoying, but it's an entirely different thing if the audience perceive Jasper to be annoying. Why? Because you want other characters to be annoyed. You don't want to annoy your audience. You want bad things to happen to other characters while the audience watches in amusement or for the drama. That's why villains do bad things. But to annoy the audience is to drive them away. So Henry also ends up breaking a bunch of laws because stupid reasons of, oh, Captain Man shouldn't spend Christmas in jail with Jasper. Not sure why this is an issue since Captain Man is both indestructible, and I'm pretty sure this show has brought up bail at least one point, so why couldn't they just pay the bail? I mean, come on. Oh, and why does Charlotte get arrested? Because she watched him break a bunch of laws and did nothing. This episode is so dumb. And when Charlotte gets tossed in jail, well, she gets tossed in a man's jail because a woman's jail is full. So this is their excuse for only building one set and just having one set that they can just rearrange. And to make matters even worse, the officer simply shrugs this off and says, lol, you gotta suspend your disbelief. Woohoo! Rather than actually put in the effort of making the audience feel anything, it just tells the audience to feel something. That sucks and is stupid and you know it. So, Captain Man is a bit ticked off as Charlotte and Henry are in jail, and they don't have a plan to actually get him out. You're indestructible. You have to just punch the walls repeatedly until they break. Even if that cinder block is like 1 or 2 feet thick. So what? You're indestructible. Sure, you can still get tired, but I'm sure your superheroing means you have a lot more endurance. I mean, I don't watch Henry Danger. I barely remember the episodes I did actually watch, but come on. This whole indestructibility is done more than just gags, right? Right? So Henry's parents are informed that he's in jail. They actually think Piper's in jail, but they're surprised that Henry ended up in jail. So their solution, which Piper whispers to them, is to grab a cop's handheld radio and toss it into the fire, and then pull his pants down. Oh dear. They're morons. They end up in jail, though Henry's dad isn't in the cell because pantsing a police officer is a bit more serious than just destroying a handheld radio. So Captain Man takes this as an opportunity to flirt with Henry's mom. Groans. Henry's dad is playing Jingle Bells in jail. Then we watch everyone sing Jingle Bells in jail. That's cheap as hell. Then Piper spends her Christmas at an unsanctioned sleepover. Hang on, aren't these girls, don't their parents care whether they're home for Christmas? I mean, that's kind of the whole point of Christmas. Besides the fact I hate this special with a burning passion, the plot is fairly minimalistic, likely unable to fill an 11-minute to short format cartoon, much less a half-hour full episode of Henry Danger. There is absolutely no reason why this became a Christmas special. This even is a Christmas special. If I had to speculate, I believe they started out as a first draft of a regular episode of Henry Danger where dumb laws exist in Swellview, and the show was unable to come up with a proper anything other than a premise, so what they did is that they took the scenes they already made and then glossed them over with a Christmas coat of paint. The climax of just singing Jingle Bells in a jail cell is also quite pathetic. What? You're not going to discuss bringing Christmas to jail and all those implications? Hey, peace on earth, even to one of the most stereotypically brutal and violent places in America. I mean, this has the potential to be heartwarming, but it tries to exchange heartwarming with comedic randomness and barely disguised sadism and psychopathy, I guess. The whole song from Henry's dad is just painful, mainly because his earlier obsession with the bells wasn't exactly what I call enjoyable. He just annoyed everyone, and if you're going to associate this bad thing, which the narrative plays as annoying, and then turn it into a good thing when he starts playing the bells using the spoons while in jail, you're gonna need to have some development besides that, because it kinda just comes off as them sort of going mad and accepting the annoyance rather than actual organic growth. Also, the part where they take the handheld radio and toss it into the fire, something at an officer's waist, and then pantsing the officer, belts around the officer's waist. This could have easily come off as them grabbing the gun, which the officer would have used to end them then and there. Not gonna happen in a kid's show, but this is just stupid, even for kids' show logic. There is a word for an episode like this. In the US, it's called bloviating. You say a lot, but you have said nothing at all. This is often done by politicians, because they're politicians. This episode follows a very specific formula. These characters break a law. They get arrested because they didn't expect to get arrested, or they just did it to help someone else because it's Christmas. Yeah, great. And then they go to jail, and then they have a song session at the end. That's it. No fun interactions that aren't played for laughs, no heartwarming message, no nothing. In fact, probably the most eye-rolling thing I saw in this episode was Captain Man trying to flirt with Henry's mom. I know he does this multiple times in the show, but come on. This could have been done in any episode. This is pathetic. This episode sucks. Its premise focuses solely on Herder. Sir Welvio has terrible laws, and the plot overshadows how this is a Christmas special. It's boring to see these characters fixate solely on dumb laws and not on, the Christmas season. By the time they focus themselves in on being a Christmas special, it's a bare bones, let's sing at the end, hope everyone actually likes it. I could point out the logical inconsistencies, like bearing witness to a crime is enough to be arrested for a crime. How do trials work in this universe, since bystanders would be arrested as well, especially if they did nothing? Like, what can you do? Where should your sympathies fundamentally lie, is the question this episode asked us, because that certainly beats me. You have either a prick like Captain Man, or the idiocy of everyone else. You're forced into a lose-lose situation. And I can safely say that this episode makes a loser out of all of us. Those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.